Hello everyone and welcome to round 11 of Tier 2 at Abu Dhabi. A very fun track, one of my most favorite tracks actually ever, despite people calling it really boring or whatever. But then again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Joining me today, of course, is Sir SSG Assassin in terms of our streamer, and of course, as per usual, Ashray as my co-commentator.
Yes, hi guys. I'm very excited to be here. And let's look forward to an insane race.
Absolutely, I bet that Mirage map is even more exciting to be at right now for you, Ashray. However, without wasting any further time, because I do believe the drivers are ready, let's quickly go on to the track map. As you can see, 5.2 kilometers long, 16 turns. Reprofile track actually for the first time in this game. 2 DRS zones because the main straight isn't long enough to be a DRS zone. Quite a bit of elevation changes, which will provide quite a bit of a challenge to these drivers, especially through Sector 1. And let's quickly go into the Hotlap.
Alright then, as we round the final corner, let's go for a lap on board SSJ Assassin of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix circuit. Cross the first box on the right hand side at turn 1. Make sure not to run too wide on exit as you may invalidate your lap. Turns 2, 3 and 4 are completely flat in qualifying, but you may need to lift in the race. As we come down to the newly formatted turn 5, which is now a hairpin, you want to brake as late as possible, but also try to make a late apex. Coming on to the first DRS straight off the track. Open DRS, a brilliant overtaking opportunity down to the chicane. As you move the car over to the right hand side for the braking zone of turn 6, make sure not to dip the wheels onto the curb as you may lock up. Coming on to the second DRS straight now as we come through turn 8 under the bridge. DRS open once again, an important overtaking opportunity. We saw Max Verstappen and Lewis go wheel to wheel here in 2021 as we come down to turn 9. A sweeping left-hander where it's very important to time when you get on throttle or you risk running wide or more. You may spin the car. Coming through turns 10 and 11 which are flat, down to 12 and 13 and 14 which are now reformatted to be a little bit more wider. Coming through turn 15 where we saw Nicholas Latifi bottle the car in 2021, flat through turn 16, and we come to the final corner. Not too much on the curb, and that is a lap of Abu Dhabi.
Really quick lap once again from our very own Sir SSJ Assassin. 22.8 in time trials. So I think in qualifying you can expect somewhere around the low 23s to be a pole time, at least in Tier 1. Maybe a few of the Tier 2 guys, perhaps Heisenberg, could try and get close to that. Or perhaps maybe even beat it. The 23 lows. That is, they're definitely going to be not going to be 22.8. At least not outside of time trial. Anyways, I think we're only a few seconds away from our boys riding up.
Yeah, I agree with that simply. Replicating a time like that is going to be really tough, as this is a tough track to get a lap down, as there's some corners that are really high downforce, and one small mistake can throw your car off completely.
Absolutely, especially that turn we just saw, the long left-hander in sector 3, or rather, actually, I believe it's in sector 2 right there. Very easy to run wide there. It's very easy, very intimidating for people, for them to go on to power quite early there and run off wide. And of course, that massive sausage curve on the outside just obviously kills the momentum of the drivers and obviously invalidates their lap as well while they're at it.
Hmm. Anyways, I think these guys should be reading up now, and they'll be heading into quali. So initially they'll probably set a banker lap, and then they'll go on to set proper laps. As you know, banker is really important, just in case later on your proper laps don't you don't really set them properly, where you mess the bump, and you'll always have some time to fall back onto.
Yeah, and there's obviously an expectation of maybe a few guys doing a Leclerc from 21, if you remember what happened there. You know, just casually just running off wide, making it look like they're about to hit the wall on the extreme far left. But it's better for these guys to avoid it because obviously it's a very bumpy part of the circuit and very easy for people to lose traction there and obviously just spin out and ruin their race.
Anyways, yeah, you're right about some parts of the very high down first track, especially the part where Leclerc just went straight on. It looked a bit scary. But yeah, I think let's hope we don't see any of that, as I don't think it will be as smooth as it was for Leclerc.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, the game has obviously considered it a bit bumpy, as I said earlier. So yeah, that's obviously not ideal for these guys. And as we can see, as per usual, dry weather in Abu Dhabi. Although
Yeah, yeah.
realistically speaking, in this game at least, it could rain. I would love to see rain. I can't lie.
Yeah, it's a tough ask. It's a tough ask.
It's a tough ask, but it will throw people off. It'll make for a very interesting, perhaps a quali or a race. So that is why I kind of wanted, but it is what it is, I guess. And you're currently seeing your driver standings on the right-hand side of your screen. All of the drivers, again, regardless of where they are in the field, are still quite close to each other. Although I believe a few drivers, obviously, it's only 10 in attendance, not a lot of numbers, but it does make it better for the people who have been usually in the lower midfield or have been hard stuck in the midfield. Red Bull leading by an absolute mile here. And today there is only Sai Tarun as the Aston Martin. So yet another great chance for the Red Bull drivers. And speaking about the Red Bull drivers, ABD has been replaced by Tsukuyomi.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I mean, I don't think at the end of the day that's really going to change a lot, as uh, Dark Knight. Dark Knight is going to be really carrying the weight of the team,
Yep.
and it's too late in the season for for a team to make a comeback. I think the next closest team is what, Aston Martin.
Yeah. With Ink not racing for quite a few races, I think does put a lot of pressure on Sai Tarun, and I believe that pressure is getting to him because he hasn't really been delivering so far, at least upon what we've seen from him in races like Miami and Spa, where he's actually put in the performance. But then again, that's kind of been quite reliant on the wet weather playing a massive part in the thing. In just dry weather, he hasn't really seemed to uh, put the performance through. Whereas obviously Dark Knight, as you were mentioning, has been carrying the weight of the team. He's been really consistent within the top 5, top 6, scoring points consistently there, unless of course any DNS. But we're just talking about finishing here. So Dark Knight really has put quite a bit of a performance through. Although of course not to forget Heisenberg's done quite well this season. However, of course he's had a few. He's had a few meh races, let's just say. That's why he's not really been up there. But he definitely was in contention at some point.
Mm. Yeah, Heisenberg, I think he's always been this guy who has an incredible pace, but just somehow in the race he'll either get unlucky or just succumb to his own mistakes, which is really, really unlucky. But there's always another season where he can improve upon it.
Absolutely, there's always season, and let's hope you're not going to succumb to that pressure of because you're about to bottle, or you might bottle that CS:GO win right there. However, we can see Tsukuyomi, the other Red Bull Xbox driver, that is, he's invalidated his first lap, and actually, you were saying it's very crucial to have the banker laps going, and so far Tsukuyomi has invalidated his banker lap in itself, not off to a great start.
Yeah, I think that's FIFA Connect has gotten a really good time on the board, and like it really shows as a really fast person like Heisenberg. It's still a tenth behind him. So let's see what Dark Knight can produce on his banker lap.
Absolutely, so far by the looks of it, purple second sector. Heisenberg's only 1/10 of a FIFA Canuck. FIFA Canuck with a 23-9, looking like quite a decent banker. Although, of course, nothing close to what we're expecting. But then again, remember, this track, being as big as it is, track evolution plays a massive role in everything. So he does have very high chances of improving here.
Yeah, there is a good chance for him to improve, and let's hope he does.
Great answer. And yeah, Dark Knight not looking good. His banker lap was not the best. Although to his I don't know what the actual word is, but for his defense, yeah, to his defense, whatever, makes sense. He hasn't really gotten the time to practice as much, so I guess that kind of makes sense why he's right now 6/10 of a FIFA Canuck. But then again, it's the race where it matters. It's where you score the points. So that is what is going to be crucial for him to score the points there. And again, obviously, make sure that he's well within that top 5, considering there's only 11 drivers in this race.
Yeah, I think the low attendance is kind of makes sense because maybe I think a few drivers have already gotten F123 and they don't really wanna. They're already gotten used to that very
Yeah,
different handling characteristic of that game,
yeah.
and I don't think they want to try and get used to this again because it'll be a tough. It'll be tough for them to get used to it again. To be honest.
Absolutely, because in this game, I had to go on throttle quite early, whereas in F123, it really easy to go on throttle. So it's a night and day difference pretty much in terms of handling. So yeah, in a game, if you play a game where you can go third gear, second gear, full throttle, and then suddenly go back to the game where you're getting wheel spin in sixth gear, it just completely puts you off, which makes sense.
Yeah. Anyways, you can see Alex. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah,
Alex on a hot lap. Probably his back
pretty
lap.
decent there.
Yeah, he just teleported back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting. This game still making us laugh, even though it's at its end of life.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it is at its end of life. But yeah, so far Alex almost 3 seconds down on FIFA Connacht just through the second sector. Has he made a mistake somewhere? I think he might have because we haven't been on board him for the whole lap. So I believe perhaps somewhere in the first sector he might have messed up.
Yeah, that's very possible. You see Alex finishing up his lap. Let's see where he goes. Oof. Okay, that is definitely not a representative lap from him.
Absolutely not. 3.5 seconds. That's a massive difference.
Anyways, you can see Supreme on a lap right now. This should be his banker as well. Yeah, it is his banker. I have
Yeah,
to say,
this is
like,
his second attempt at the banker.
mm,
You were saying?
it is sad to see like low attendance like this, but it's not really like I would say. Other than the game, new game, what are the other reasons you think that people are slowly dropping off?
Not sure really because to be honest, we didn't really get any replies from a lot of people. Majority of the people actually marked attendance. I guess you could call it perhaps last minute because it was like a day or two before. So perhaps people are just busy with their personal lives and could not attend this week. But let's just hope next week or for the next race, the attendance is going to be much better as Srikanth Das comes across the lane, 3 tenths off of FIFA Kanak. Not a bad lap.
Yeah, pretty decent lap. Let's see, FIFA connection on top with Heisenberg. Hasn't set another lap yet, but I think both are setting their lap now. I think go on about either of them. Yeah, Heisenberg is on his lap.
Yellow through the first sector.
Yeah, yellow through the first sector.
He's not had the worst of the...
How are you doing?
Heisenberg aborted his lap, he's not deploying in ERS.
Okay, then can you go more FIFA Connect? Like FIFA Connect just started his lap, okay? Cool. Purple first sector, 700th game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's the kind of like increment you'll expect to see as the session goes on and the track. What's the word? Track rubbers up. Track evolution. Yes. I'm just remembering all the F1 terminologies right now. Man, F1 is a bit depressing nowadays.
Yeah, I get it. ACC hasn't really been much better for me personally, or if we go based off of Laguna Seca, it didn't really go well for you either. But FIFA, I think he's lost time somewhere in the second sector. He's gone back down to 300, so he wasn't really improving by
really
much
close
in
to
the
invalidation as
second
well.
by the looks of it.
Yeah, that was really close to invalidation as well over there.
Yeah, that corner obviously will catch quite a few drivers off guard.
Also, when I said F1 has been depressing, I'm not talking about the game, I'm talking about real life.
Oh, I mean both have been equally depressing. Wait, let's see.
Up his lap, he goes about a tenth faster. I would say
Yeah.
not the improvement I expected to see. I have to say.
Absolutely not. That's what was that? Around 900ths of a second of
Another
improvement.
yeah.
It's not really characteristic of FIFA Connect to do that. But again, we also FIFA Connect has
Yeah.
been making a few mistakes throughout the season. For example, Mexico under the
Yeah.
safety car, overtaking the safety car and getting disqualified.
Mm.
It's not really characteristic of him. He has the pace, but so far he hasn't shown that pace in the race. Like his strategies have also been a bit dodgy, but nonetheless, uh, Abu Dhabi, from what I have seen, him through his practices so far. Oh, that's
Oh,
PK19
that
making
was
a
the corner
mistake.
that we're talking about, where it's really downforce dependent and it's really easy to lose the car.
Yeah, and gives me flashbacks to F1 2020, the Abu Dhabi race. If you remember what happened with me on that exact same corner.
Yeah. Oh
Really,
yeah. 2020. I think last lap he crashed out. No.
yeah, on the last lap, and I was
Oh,
on
that
for a
was a good
P3
one.
as well.
Yeah.
But anyways, good old days. But yeah, as I was saying, from what I've seen in practice of FIFA Kanak, he does have quite a bit of potential for a top three here in Abu Dhabi. He really has the practice and gelled with the track so far. So it is looking good for him. But then again, we can't exactly tell what will happen in the race. But from what I've seen, he's looking good this weekend.
Yeah. Damn. I didn't know the Red Bull was glossy.
Yeah, weird, right?
Yeah. It's Sukumi finishing up his lap. Let's see where he will go. Oh, okay. That's not exactly a particularly brilliant lap time. Let's hope we can find some time somewhere in the lap. Alex still 3 seconds off the pace. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
think he's
exactly what
trying.
I was talking
I
about.
think he's trying to save his tires, to go on another hot lap, and fuel as well to go on another hot lap without pitting. That is my best guess of what he's doing right now.
I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
ideal though. He'd be much rather off because there's 5 minutes left in the session. He might as well
Might
go
as well
back
pit
into the pit,
and yeah,
change
true.
tires, lower the fuel, and then go on about from there. And from what I can see, Ashley, sorry to cut you off. Apparently, a few drivers are reporting rain in this session,
What?
but there is no rain.
Wait, maybe they're just seeing their own sweat.
I wish that was possible in this game, but yeah, is there a decent by any chance? I mean, look at Alex. He's taken that same corner thrice before going through it. I think there might be some levels of desync in this lobby. I can't really tell you for sure though.
That is astronomical levels of teasing. One session is bone dry, other session there's rain.
Oh my god, yeah, this game lost for words. We've put everyone out there. The only thing left now is some stuff that will get us demonetized. So I'm not gonna say it, but
Yeah.
yeah, you
I
you
have
can
to
you
say,
can
I'm
figure it out.
surprised Sunny and Faizan still being chilling in the pits. Oh, Sunny's out. Speaking of that,
Apparently, Sun is the one who's seeing rain.
yeah, that yeah, I'm not sure how. Like, I can't say it's console thing either, because like Tsukiyomi is also on console. It's not having that
Yeah.
issue, but wait, does that mean we get to see him on inters or something?
No, but he's on
You
soft
know
right
you know
now.
what my guess is? I think he just seen the precipitation percentage and thinking that as rain.
That could be
Like
it.
sometimes the icon will show as rain, but once you look
Yeah.
deeper, it's actually still like dry.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, but yeah,
I
I
get you. I
remember
get
a
you.
bit of F1. Then I remember that's the thing where like the first icon will scare you into thinking there's rain, but then once you examine it, it'll be like dry all the way.
Yeah, that's a really annoying thing. And it's not even consistent now at this point. Even that's broken. So let's see what else would be broken today. I really can't tell, like, to be honest.
Yeah, Sunny has left it all for the final lap. I'm not sure what kind of. Um... Oh, and that
He's
happened.
done a Latifi.
He's left it all for the final 2 minutes to do that. I think
I
it's gonna
believe
save.
he wasn't in the lobby up until this point. So wasn't Faizan. Even Faizan's just joined now.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I see him in the chat, our
Wait,
stream
can you
chat.
check if Sunny is like doing after this? Can you check if he's doing a hot lap or is he just trying to go around the track and see to do again to start hot lap again? Can he get telemetry?
Yeah, no, he's just
Yeah, yeah,
doing a
he's
lap
just
to
chilling.
go back in. Meanwhile, Heisenberg, he's about to start his hot lap. Let's see where he'll be able to end up. 2 tenths up until pole. FIFA Canuck seems quite confident. He hasn't come out of the pits yet. Oh well, he's coming out of the pits now, but it's gonna be on the edge. Let's just say.
Yeah, that's quite close. Let's see. Oh, yellow for sector. You know what I think
10th
happened?
down.
See, the thing is, I think Heisenberg messed up his previous lap because that wasn't an out lap because it wasn't showing his out lap. You know what I mean?
Pretty sure it was.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't turn on the ARS until
No, no, no.
after the last
I
lap.
think he tapped a hot lap and messed up. That's why it turned off his ERS. That's why besides the zero lap, it wasn't showing his out lap. I think
Could be.
that's what I
Could
think.
be.
But yeah, maybe he has some wear on his tire after that one.
Oh,
Mistaken.
purple through the middle sector.
Oh,
So
wow.
he's gained about 2 tenths there because he had to recover that 1 tenth, and he's gone a tenth faster. He has to just nail sector 3, which of course is not as easy as we are saying it because of course you can look at the tricky nature of the corners here. You have to pretty much hit every apex. Now flat through here.
Yeah,
So the
I
right
love
hand
the
taking a bit of the
replay.
curb, and then fourth gear in the final corner, short shifting to fifth weirdly, comes across the line. Oh,
It is a yellow
900.
sector. It's a yellow sector. I think if
Yep,
they had a green sector, then maybe they could have been some hope.
yep, that is unfortunate for Heisenberg, but still, uh, good indications though that we might have a good battle for the lead as FIFA Kanak has invalidated his lap, so
Oh,
he's
that
not going to be
I
really
relief
improving much on that.
yeah, that must be a sigh of relief that Heisenberg didn't improve.
Yeah, absolutely. Sai Tarun going 2 tenths lower than P1.
Sigh of relief, Sai Tarun.
That's such a shit dad joke. Sure. So far, he's looking like he's gonna end up P3 because Sajan is 3 tenths behind P1. Let's see what can Sai Tarun. He can bottle his lap at the final corner. That is what he can do. Unfortunately, that is him. That is his qualifying over, and there's a McLaren in the wall there. Stager has invalidated his lap. Stealthy Sunny is spun, and so has I believe PK19. So they're both having a nice little party there at the Latifi corner. Dark Knight goes P3.
Oh, interesting. Only 2 tenths of pole as well.
Yep. Next up is Axel Sam, as you can see in the Ferrari. He's improving
Yeah.
through the second sector. He was down on his first sector. What will he manage to pull off here? We will have to see. Coming through the
Pretty good
final corner.
last sector so far. Pretty good last sector so far.
That's a P5.
Not bad.
Only
not
up. He's only up by 1 position though.
bad. Yeah. But hey man, a position gain is a position gain. Anyways, we'll be moving on to the race soon. Hopefully without any lobby restarts required.
Yeah, hopefully that's we'll be going through smoothly, and don't think there will be any required because seems fine so far. Other than that one little rain droplet which Sunny saw. Definitely think it's still sweat, by the way. But yeah.
Alright, he lives in Hyderabad. I think Hyderabad is getting insane amounts of rain, isn't it?
Yes, he is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Apparently, on Sunny's screen, the race is wet. Now, who do we believe?
Maybe message to see like ask him to expand on that and see all the every 10 minutes that kind of thing.
Hey, well, it's too late to do that now, Ashray. Well, our telemetry says it's dry, so we're gonna stick with dry. If it starts raining, then it's gonna be really nice. I can't lie.
Yeah, I hope it rains.
Yeah,
Because
I also hope it rains.
a bunch of people on a dry setup in a wet race who wouldn't love that.
Exactly. That too at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Okay, so just give us a few minutes and we'll be into the race.
Yep. As this is your qualifying result, FIFA Connect P1, Heisenberger P2, Darky P3, Seja P4, Axel Sam P5, Shrikant Das P6, Sai Tarun P7, Tsukuyomi P8, Alex P9, Sunny P10, and the last person decided time was BK19 because Faizan has a quali ban. But then again, BK managing to set a 153, which is a wet lap time here. Actually, it's lower than the wet lap time here. If it does rain, that is. So yeah, it's not had the best of qualifyings, but it's better than having a quali ban. So yeah, that will be your qualifying, and we'll quickly be moving on to uh, the the race grid. Let's hope no disconnects or desyncs because that might result in a lobby restart. Moment of truth. Is it gonna be raining? No, it's not. It is it is quite dry.
Yeah, simply, maybe I can fill in for Ashtray while he completes his game in CSGO.
I believe he's going to grab a can of Coke actually.
Oh, well, remember, kids, who I was watching, Coke is not good for your health. 200 grams of sugar in a 600 750 ml bottle.
Yep.
So that's the fastest way to diabetes.
Okay, back to diabetes. What's going on?
SSJ tech tips. Health tips rather.
Yes, what is the fastest way to diabetes? What luck people?
SSJ out.
A very insightful bit of information there from SSG Assassin as we sit on the grid and wait for the drivers to do the strategies before we go. Uh, For those of you who are tuning in right now, FIFA Connect on pole only by 900s, though, followed really closely by Heisenberg, although FIFA Connect did invalidate his last lap, so we don't know actually what his pace is like. He could be a few times faster than that, and as I was saying earlier in qualifying, he is looking quite good for this weekend. An easy top 3 finish, that is, if he does not have any unfortunate disconnects or any such, which he has been plagued by recently.
Yeah. It is really tough to say whether you're going to get kicked out of the lobby or you're going to race on your own somewhere.
Right. Well, I believe the drivers will be running up. Yes, they are. Ashray, why don't you take us through the start then?
All right. All right, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's lights out and away we go. I think Heisenberg got a good start. Is it better than FIFA Connect though? No, FIFA Connect still ahead. And Heisenberg still in P2, but Darknet up to P3, Sager up to P4. Exo Sam, he spun. Did they spin?
Yes, he
Not
has.
good. Oh, Heisenberg took FIFA Connect around the outside and gotten the lead of the race. What
Yeah,
happened to
very
FIFA
good
Connect there?
move. FIFA Connect, I don't know, he's messed up somewhere through the second turn. I can tell you that there is a Sai Tarun and Stealthy Sunny going side by side, one on the medium, one on the hards. Both of them not willing to give up either position. Tsukuyomi up into P5, really good start from him. FIFA Connect taking that position back away from Heisenberg. He's like, no, thank you. Going into the infamous Abu Dhabi chicane here. And Heisenberg having to use a bit of ERS to keep up with FIFA Connect blazing pace as they go 3 wide through these straight, whatever the straight is called. That is Faizan on the inside, going through the long left-hander, which was recently reprofiled. And that's a bit dodgy, and Faizan spins around. Shrikant is getting a 5-second time penalty for apparently cutting a corner and gaining a position. Not off to a great start is Faizan. That is BK19 getting really close to the rear end of Sai Tarun, and Stealthy Sunny making a really nice move on Tsukuyomi, who's dropped back down to P10 after being in P5 at one point. And there goes Stealthy Sunny as well. So clearly commentator's curse in full effect.
Yeah, Strizen is probably in the wet right now, so... Anyways, I don't know what happened to him. Why did he spin? But he's lost about, I think he's about, I don't know, 5 seconds behind the whole pack. And Faizan, man, what is he doing there? He's trying to send it in the mid corner. And obviously, he's going to get bounced by the curb into the other car. So,
Yep.
really careless from him, yeah.
There was also a bump in the middle of that corner itself, so not only did he bottom out on that curve there, that bump also unsettled his car, and I think that's what threw his car onto the car that was next to him. Not sure who that was. I believe an Alfa Romeo, but yeah, that's caused him to spin.
Anyways, if we did a move like that, it'll be corner cutting. So, we'll have to give back the position anyways.
Yep. That's pretty much ruined his race also, considering that he is on the mediums and not on the hards. So those mediums, they boil up really quickly, and yeah, they won't really settle down until obviously you stop putting quite a bit of force through them. But right now Faizan will have to do that because he has to catch up to the rest of the pack. He does not have time for him to slack off and chill, because it's not a 100% race, it's a 50% one. 2 laps are already finished out of the 29, or well, about to be completed out of this 29 lap race. So he does not have a lot of time on his hands if he does want to execute his medium hard strategy properly.
Yeah, falling 5 seconds behind is a really bad thing. Only like 2 completed laps into the race, so he had to put his foot down and catch up. Well, up ahead, FIFA already getting a 1 second lead on Heisenberg, which is not what Heisenberg wants, because right now Heisenberg won't even get the DRS, as DRS is activated on this lap.
Absolutely.
Sector 1.
Oh, that's Stealthy Sunny.
This is, I think, turn 3.
Yeah, turn 3.
Dark Knight closing in on Heisenberg. I think Heisenberg might have deployed some ERS to get within the DRS of FIFA Connect to get DRS down on the second straight here. So, oh, another yellow sector. What's up now?
It is Stealthy Sunny once again. Yeah, his tires are absolutely cooked. And Tsukuyomi cooking BK19 for that P8 position, making a move with the help of the DRS before he even gets to the corner. So he definitely has gotten some sort of a really good exit out of that chicane there, as the Sai Tarun wheel banging slightly with Alex, although still making that move stake on Alex, moving up into P6. So he's doing well so far.
Yeah, Sai Tarun and Alex battling it out, but the thing is they are losing time to... I think they are losing time to Shrikant Das, who is part of the lead lap, so they want to battle but not lose touch of the lead pack.
Oh, and that is BK19 who has spun out. Is he? He's beached.
Beached.
And he resets as Stealthy Sunny retires from this race.
Oh, is that allowed? He retired on track.
On track, yeah, that's definitely not allowed. That will be a report coming his way for that. Especially when we have gone into round 11 of 15 round season, it's definitely not good. BK19 spinning out in turn 1 as well. So no safety cars just yet, but I don't think these guys need any so far.
Oh, Alex closing in quickly on Sai Tarun, but a bit too late to dive. But he will be.
No, Ashray, you didn't notice. You didn't notice, Ashray. He lifted off. He wants to make a move here. He didn't want to make a move on the straight before. Now he's going for it with the ERS and the DRS. Sai Tarun covering the inside off, forcing Alex round the outside, going through the long left-hander here. Alex still managing to stick it out, not close enough to Sai Tarun. Sai Tarun absolutely amazing through that long left-hander, just manages to stay forward there, using every little bit of the grip through that corner, and he does manage to stay ahead. Next up will be Alex's opportunity of overtaking, will again be a whole sector afterwards, again on that same straight, which will be coming up later. Not this one, the back straight.
Yeah, it was really tough for Sai Tarun to stay ahead there, but he did manage to stay ahead, which is really surprising. But I think that's mainly because Alex got a really bad exit on that DRS straight.
Yeah, I mean, it would have worked if he actually if he stayed within. So that Shrikant Dasu spun out, and he's retired at the same place as where I did, and that's a safety car that's come out. So this gives these medium runners a very good opportunity to go onto hards, and the people who are already on hards, it doesn't make sense for them to go onto the mediums.
Yeah, this is not good for people who are on the hards right now. Not
It
good at
is
all.
though.
No, who are on the hards.
I'd say it is.
Really?
Yeah, because the only people who are on hards is Axel Sam and BK19, and these guys are far behind. This safety car helps them catch up to the field ahead of them.
Okay, in that sense, yes, but let's say you're part of the lead pack on the hards, then no.
Yeah, then of course not, but I'm talking about the current situation here. In
Yeah.
current situation, this has been a blessing for them, pretty much. Alright then, yeah, we've seen great battles in just the 4 laps that we have had racing, especially between Sai Tarun and Alex. That fight is just gonna get feistier and feistier as we move on forward. And oh, yep, as expected, all of the medium runners are boxing, going on to hards. And Ashray, right now nobody's done it. But do you think that it would be a good choice to pull off a Sebastian Vettel going into the pits here, considering how tight the pits are?
What, make an overtake then?
Yeah, in the pits,
And
as you're going into the pits.
I mean, it'll be tough because first of all, if you try to overtake but you cross the line, there's a penalty slapped onto you. So yeah, I mean, it is tough and it's a very narrow pit lane. And maybe the pit exit maybe you can try, but it is you are playing with fire there really.
That's true, and realistically, maybe a car and a half width is there in that pit. Considering that if one car were to go to the complete extreme end of that wall, and the other car also seeing the other extreme end, is about a car length and a half space there. So you have to be like really really brave to pull it off, otherwise it just won't work.
Anyway, Sai Tarun has taken the lead of the race. Yeah, the top three is basically the medium runners who didn't pit. Simple as that.
Oh, some desyncs going on here. I think Dark Knight has dropped a few positions. Oh,
I was about to point it out.
Yes, definitely some desyncs going on here. Precursors of what happened last race in Saudi, where Darky had issues because of desync, and Heisenberg has strangely picked up a 5-second penalty. Axel Sam's also picked up a 5-second penalty. That's surely because of the desync. I am assuming that Dark Knight went ahead of them and got some kind of desync issue, which caused these two drivers to get a penalty for illegal overtaking.
Yeah, I was about to say F122 flashbacks, then I realized we are on F122. So, yeah, this game, wow, really cannot wait until the season's over.
Yep, really, I mean, it's not like there's anything better in store for us in F123.
Hey, at least you can go full throttle in third gear.
Yeah, but then what's the point when, you know, when the red flag comes out and then it's just an infinite loop of a red flag restart, safety car in, red flags. Yeah, we know all those, we know it bug all too well. It's
hell. Yeah, let's just call it a manipulation by the FIA.
Maybe
for the results.
demonetization incoming for IRC.
Hey, we might get a copyright strike now that we have said that.
Oh no, we've mentioned the wrong F1 game. Damn.
But yeah, anyways, the whole of the bunch is obviously packed up, casually weaving, and Sai Tarun leaving plenty of distance from the safety car. The rule is to leave 10 car distance between the car in front of you. The rule book refers to the F1 car in front of you, not the GT car, that is the safety car. But still, Sai Tarun taking creative interpretation of the rule book here and leaving quite a bit of space, but he's caught back up.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't want to pull a Slayer or an existence. Never know. It's better
Or
to
a
be safe
FIFA
than
Kanak,
sorry.
as a matter of fact, if you're mentioning that.
Oh, when did that happen? I don't know.
Mexico.
Oh, okay. So, well,
Okay,
luckily for these folks, safety car is going in this lap. Yeah, Ashtray, you can take over.
Yep, safety car is going in this lap. Pressure will be on Sai Tarun for him to pull off that restart.
Be that a word, I think one of the cars was going unnecessarily slowly. I think one of them ended up rear-ending the other car in front. I just got it on the heli camera.
Apparently, the whole lobby is decent. We might not even be looking at the correct lobby here, SSD Assassin.
The drivers
See,
are...
the thing is, there is no such thing as resync. There's just the multiverse, and we're looking at one of his outcomes.
Oh my god, Ashley, keep those Thanos quotes to yourself, Rob, please. Sai Tarun has pulled off half a second gap here, and apparently I'm being called right now, so Assassin and Ashley, please take away for a few minutes.
Yep, just as you wanted us to take over, we've had the first retirement since the safety car restart, a victim of turn 2, the third victim throughout this entire weekend, although we are only halfway through, and I'm expecting a few more to come our way, but then luckily for us, luckily for the drivers, or unluckily for us, as a matter of fact, we don't have any safety cars yet. So for the rest of the field, it looks like a much cleaner start. Sai Tarun half a second off of Alex in P2. Only 2 drivers here who haven't pitted under the safety car window. Okay, scratch that. So 4 drivers actually who've pitted so far. But as we can see that FIFA Kanak and Alex are going side by side. FIFA Kanak taking that inside line, the safer line. Oh, safe, but yeah, Alex still manages to fend him off to live another day.
Yeah, really close battle between them, and I think FIFA Kanak should have the better tires now, or maybe in a lap. But yeah, because Alex's tires should be worn by now, as this is it's a track, but it's really tough on tires.
Yeah, by lap 5 itself, the mediums drop off by around half a second. As you can see, FIFA Kanak completely hounding that diffuser, that Ferrari diffuser. It's definitely a move coming up. I mean, you can see how much slow, how much FIFA Kanak and the drivers behind are being slowed down by Alex. Still, there's no sign of a DRS coming, as it's only the second lap after the safety car restart. FIFA Kanak through this exit, through this corner, get the better exit and manages to hopefully make the move on Alex.
Should be an easy move going down the inside for FIFA Kanak, although Alex not willing to give up just yet. Has contact with the side pod of FIFA Kanak, and as a matter of fact, he's lost 2 positions because of that mistake. And here comes Dark Knight on Axel Sam as well, and Alex losing a few more positions while he's at it. So yeah, it's not been the best of restarts for Alex or Axel Sam here, because both of them have lost quite a few positions.
Yeah. So anyway, are we having a lobby restart or anything?
Apparently no.
Oh, that's good. We don't want to sit through a lobby restart after 9 laps of racing. Would have been a pain.
The race would have been cancelled if there was any such lobby restarts. But I doubt at this point, if we do cancel, we don't have any sort of slot to fit the races in. It's just going to be weekend after weekend after weekend of racing. And for you guys to see that, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications to know when we do go live for those races. But yeah, there will be absolutely no place for us to slot these guys into. So if the race gets cancelled, it's cancelled. And Sager trying to cancel Axel Sam's chances of finishing higher than P6 in this position in this race. However, Axel Sam getting a much better exit out of the hairpin. Although Sager luckily still has the DRS, so he will cling on to Axel Sam, just not close enough to make a move.
Yeah, you see Faizan trying to overtake Sijon around the outside. Oh, that's really close to them. Does Faizan finish the move? Oh, slightly yes, no, maybe no. CJ gets the better exit out of there.
Indeed, and yes, Sager was on the racing line, whereas Faizan was forced off of it. So that makes
No,
sense that
Faizan, no,
Faizan
Faizan.
spent
Oh my.
an unnecessary dive bomb on Sager.
Why did I see that coming from a million miles away?
It's not good because Faizan served a qualifying ban on this race. And now he might have to serve a race ban quite soon because of it, especially in the dying stages of this championship. Definitely not a good look.
Yeah.
With Dark Knight now coming back to Alex. He's trying to catch up to Alex. Sai Tarun still in the lead after 10 laps. At this point, I'm pretty sure Sai Tarun will be hoping for another safety car for him to pit, because if he pits without a safety car, he's definitely dropping back down to P9, which is currently the last position. And Axel Sam has done a Leclerc. He's gone off.
He is on one tires, to be fair, but it shouldn't be that one. Now
not
Dark
in
Knight trying to
the
overtake Alex. It's easy. Alex tried to veer to the left to scare him off a bit, but Dark Knight saw that coming.
Absolutely, Dark Knight now into P4 with 2.5 second gap to FIFA Kanak and Heisenberg, who has a penalty, but I think there was that desync penalty under the safety car, which will obviously be removed. So currently it's anyone's game to win this race.
Yeah. Man, that Faizan it's such a rookie mistake. And I think the guy's not even a rookie. He's been playing the game for so many years.
He's been here since season 1, actually.
Yeah.
Few people are still in support of Faizan, though, calling him a goat. But yeah, that's definitely not a legal move, at least not according to the rule book.
Out of jihad.
And that's BK19. Whoa. Okay, yeah. BK19 spinning out there in the final sector. However, he is still going on about great. Only P8 though, so not too bad for him, considering, of course, he's not pit yet. So those tires are very worn out at this point. FIFA Kanak following very closely to Heisenberg, who's following very closely to Sai Tarun. FIFA Kanak clearly seems to have a lot more straight line than Sai Tarun and Heisenberg. Although Heisenberg does have the DRS, was 3 wide momentarily, 2 wide now. Will FIFA Kanak send down the inside? Yes, he does. Heisenberg not willing to give up on this battle though. Perhaps Sai Tarun held back too much, because he could have gained on a position right there. He could, if he stayed right behind FIFA Kanak there, he could have gained a position, perhaps maybe even 2. But for now, he still has to settle for P3, as Heisenberg did make a mistake coming out of the chicane, going off wide on the exit there. But that makes sense because he did have a bit of contact with FIFA Kanak, but nothing too serious, luckily. And he lives to see another day, another bit of battle for this lead that we have 12 laps into this race.
Yeah. I think Sai Tarun did his best over there with the lack of grip. I think he has to pit soon. He is pitting right now. Yeah. So is he going to come out last after all of that?
It has to be. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. And that's the thing. One thing I realized, like, if let's say if you're doing a conventional strategy, a normal strategy, and there's a safety car, you just have to pit. There's no use not pitting, because you're just gonna come back out at the last, because everyone's gonna be right behind you. It doesn't even matter if you're on a conventional strategy. Let's say even if you're on a here's the wall there. If you're on a different strategy and you're still with the lead back, if you don't pit, you're gonna be ahead, sure, but everyone's gonna be right behind you, and the worst part is you're probably not gonna be able to pull a gap.
Absolutely, that's correct. But I think Sai Tarun was just hoping for another safety car some point soon.
Yeah.
but unfortunately, it just did not play out for him. So he will be able to finish this race on those hards, whereas for people like FIFA Kanak, Heisenberg, Dark Knight, because their hards are much 7 lap, older hards, they will have to do a lot of work, and I seriously mean it when I say a lot of work to make it to the end on those hard tests. Considering that Abu Dhabi really wants to kill the tires here, it puts a lot of load on the tires, through the slow speed corners, medium speed corners, especially for the high speed corners as well. So he's just gonna eat through the tire, and yeah, if people don't start conserving their tires, we could see a few punches by the end of this race.
Is Alex pitting as well? Where will he come out? I think he'll also come out last, right?
Yeah, he should be. He was actually further away from Sai Tarun, so yeah, he will be last. Although actually BK19 made a mistake, so might
Maybe
not
second.
be last. Maybe second last.
Yeah.
Oh, BK19 spitting himself, so yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah. I think Axel Sam also should be pitting. Maybe not soon. How many more laps?
He can pull off easily, maybe 3-4 more laps on those tires. He's not in too much of a hurry right now to pit, but yeah, of course, the safety car will help him out by a lot.
Yeah.
Race has settled down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a few drivers following
yeah.
closely.
Top 3 still within a second. And let's think FIFA Connect will be under pressure this lap, this next lap especially, with when Heisenberg and Dark Knight both have DRS. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens then.
Absolutely. It is not going to be easy for FIFA Connect to defend off from Heisenberg or Dark Knight here, because they're both within a second. Both of them have DRS. What about the ERS situation? Can I have a quick look for the top 3 about the ERS? How much does everyone have? So Heisenberg on 57, FIFA Connect 40. What about Dark Knight? Also 57. Alright, so currently FIFA Connect has not only a disadvantage of not having Slipstream or the DRS, he also has a disadvantage of not having any ERS on him, as Axel Sam, making a mistake, does not decide to go into the pits though, weirdly enough.
Yeah. Heisenberg 6 tenths behind, trying to use FIFA Connect's DRS. Yeah, sorry, Slipstream. Oh, Alex lost a wing.
Oh no.
Interesting.
And
what could he have?
That's his first lap on the hards as well. He literally pit last lap. So that is definitely, yeah, it's not ideal for his race at all. It could be mediums until the end now, but yeah, it's a bit clapped.
It's tough. It's tough. Sweet clap.
Yeah, well, Dark Knight actually closing in a lot more on Heisenberg, almost hitting his rear there, going through the final sector. Heisenberg really, yeah, I think he's gone towards a very straight liney setup. That's why he's not been really good through the final sector. That's the only possible actual explanation that I have of it, at least. As Dark Knight still following quite closely to Heisenberg, but he'll try and make up quite a bit of time through the first sector. Hopefully he can. Only 17 seconds in the first sector, so not a lot of time to make up. Certainly not for these guys. Correct me on that. 19 seconds in the first sector, 18 to 19 seconds in the first sector. So yeah, still not a lot of time to make up. Certainly not as Tejer always making the move the same way he did on Faizan, but he luckily got the car to stop, because otherwise it would have been an incident once again between the two of these guys, which definitely is not a good look, considering the both of them are P4 and P5 right now. A result they'll both definitely take home with them today.
Yeah, there's a pretty good result for both of them. And I think CJ will try to overtake Faizan here. There's only 3 tenths behind, 2 tenths behind. That's behind. Oh, looks to be a pretty simple move for him.
Yep, with the help of the DRS, it's quite easy to go, and that is the bump we were talking about on the inside there earlier. That corner, but yeah, still. If you're on the racing lane, it's not an issue. You go into the curb on the inside, then it becomes an issue. But yeah, Stranger making a mistake out of nowhere. Sai Tarun picking up 3 seconds worth of time penalties. That's not good either. But yeah, it is looking like a great battle between Faizan and Sager before Sager unfortunately made that mistake. But you can't really blame him though. That corner really catches even the best of the best off guard at times, going through that left-hander, the second one, I believe.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough corner to be fair, and yeah, it is easy to make a mistake there.
Yeah, you want to pounce onto the power. You do too little of it, you lose a lot of time. You do too much of it. In best case scenario, you understeer into the Latifi wall. In worst case scenario, unfortunately, Sage just spun there. Luckily, there was no one following right closely behind him. Otherwise, there definitely would have been an incident that would have happened. And by the looks of it, Sage's tires are too hot since he has spun out of the first sector hairpin. But anyways, we can see Heisenberg getting in closer and closer, lap by lap to FIFA Kanak, as there's yellow flags for Alex as well. Luckily hasn't lost the wing now, but he was looking like he was on for a solid personal best there, or could have been the fastest lap. Currently, Dark Knight following Heisenberg very, very closely. Both Heisenberg and Dark Knight have both closed in a little by little on the car ahead of them, but none of them have made quite massive strides to catch up. So I think all of them are just currently sitting down, trying to coop up some ERS back, and then go on about their race. As the Sai Tarun spins out, so that is not good for him. Definitely not good for Aston Martin, considering that Inc. Isn't here as well. So it's not two teammates scoring points, it's just one, which is obviously a big bummer as Sai Tarun pits, and so does Axel Sam, following him very, very closely.
Yep, pretty close between them, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, but close but no cigar. But I think now Heisenberg just has to get a good exit here to have a chance down the straight, but FIFA kind of got a significantly better exit out of there, and I don't think Heisenberg can catch up to him in this straight.
Certainly not, but if he does nail this long left-hander, there's definitely quite a bit of time for him to gain here, which he unfortunately does not. Dark Knight does though. He has gained 2 tenths, but then again, we've been seeing the same sort of things happen for the past few laps. Dark Knight closes in through the second and third sector, and then loses it on the first sector. So, yeah, it's been the same thing that's been happening so far for quite a few laps. Luckily, all three of them are quite close. So, it does put all of them on the edge of their seats, because one mistake from either of them, and not only will they be losing a position, they'll also be losing that close reach that they have to P1.
Yeah. Dark Knight also just chilling there behind Heisenberg, as he really can't do much because Heisenberg is getting DRS from FIFA Canuck, so like there is no advantage in terms of straight line speed for him to overtake Heisenberg as well.
Yeah, I think right now, what I think might be happening is they're all just sat in a tire conservation mode, because it doesn't make sense for them to push, because they've already done 13 laps on these tires. They still have to stretch them for 10 more, whereas the usual lifespan of these tires is only up until about 16, 17. Stretching it out to 23 laps is a massive ask, to be honest, out of these tires, despite them being on the hards, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, it's going to be a very, very tough challenge for them.
DK19 at that top corner, getting Western 2. Yeah. These three guys still sticking along close together. Nothing changing here. But I think Dark Knight, if he just stays like this, he's up for a P2, but I think he doesn't want to settle for a P2. What if he do? I think he'll try his best to overtake Heisenberg and then try to overtake FIFA Connect to get a P1.
That could happen. Although I would say right now they're all just better off just, lifting through few corners, easing out their inputs, because they will have to make the tires go for a lot longer.
Yeah, another 9 more laps to go.
I think we need a safety
Exactly.
car.
Yeah, perhaps we do need a safety car, but I doubt there's going to be any safety car this late in the race because no one's really close to each other than the top three. Yeah, I mean, you can look at the intervals yourself. Faizan 10 seconds away from the top three, Sager 17 seconds away from Faizan, and Sai Tarun almost 30 seconds away from Sager. So, yeah, quite a massive delta between pretty much everyone. So, right now, everyone's doing their own thing, and unless someone makes a mistake by themselves, I don't see a safety car coming out.
We have seen quite a few drivers making mistakes, especially in the top, the last three in this race right now. Alex, BK19 have been spinning left and right through literally all the corners in the circuit, especially this double left-handed here, which has caught out even more drivers actually, like even Sager and Sai Tarun. So yeah, it is plausible, but yeah, we just have to wait and see.
Unlikely. That's unlikely because already the people, as you mentioned, who already have made the mistake, they're obviously going to take it a bit easier through the corners to not make that same mistake again. Whereas the people who have not obviously know how to take the corner uh, at the optimal sort of optimal way, which is the top three right now, who haven't really made any mistakes, any massive mistakes at least so far. Hence why they're in the top three. As this might be a move coming our way, as Heisenberg with the DRS and the slipstream, no usage of the ERS. Finally, after multiple laps of chasing, goes down the inside of FIFA Canuck before the chicane that came through. Now, next up would be Dark Knight's opportunity to make a move. Doesn't seem to have gotten a very good exit out of that corner though. He will be closing in onto FIFA Karak. It's not enough to make a move.
I think the just got tired of the status quo. Yeah, go ahead, Ashley.
You can see Heisenberg, I think, trying to be a bit aggressive on the overtake so that he prevents FIFA kind of from getting a good exit to overtake Heisenberg again down the second straight. So it is a very good defense from Heisenberg in that regard.
Also does help him being in the clean air after being in the dirty air for so long.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how much he's gained since he took the position back, took P1. He was keeping within 6/10 of FIFA Kanak all this time, but it was pretty obvious. I mean, just look at how much he's extended the gap. He's almost out of his DRS. Got that 5-second penalty looming over his head, but then that was under quite sketchy conditions. As you could see, FIFA Kanak almost losing it in turn 3. Managed just to probably pull it just a bit close, to be honest, because I think it was exactly within 1 second. It looks like he doesn't have DRS. No, he's gonna get cooked by Dark Knight for sure.
Yep, this will be a very good opportunity for him to get past FIFA Kanak. Perhaps not on this straight, but through the next one that's coming up. But he's not really had the best of exits through that corner.
He got a terrible exit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, well FIFA Kanak is within the DRS. FIFA Kanak and Heisenberg's both red lights are flashing, so both of them have been dumping their DRS, whereas Dark Knight doesn't seem to have been doing such. I think he is conserving his energy, which is a very good move because from what I've seen, usually it's better to make a move in the final lap or maybe in the second last lap, the penultimate lap, rather than going for it earlier and then just having to concede. Anyways, that is FIFA Kanak, who's lost his rear, and that's unleashed Dark Knight onto Heisenberg now, who is obviously quite quick, and this is certainly not ideal for FIFA Kanak because he could be losing out on the DRS from Dark Knight.
Yeah, I mean, tire wear is coming into play now because 17, these hards are not effective beyond 17 laps, and it's really showing here with FIFA Kanak that he's starting to struggle considerably. And even Heisenberg, I would say, because I mean, we did see him make a mistake out of the first chicane.
Absolutely, the only one who actually seems to be quite calm in these conditions is Dark Knight. He hasn't really made any mistakes so far. He's not even had a rear loose end from what we can tell. So he's going well so far, and that is what he has to continue to do because he does have quite a bit of ERS left on him from what I can tell compared to Heisenberg, who's pretty much down to single digits in terms of ERS.
Yep. Yeah, I think Dark Knight, who's just been behind those two cars has been really, I would say, gentler on the tires because there's no reason to push in the corners because he can just gain back the advantage. Or like the time he lost down the straights that he was getting TRS most of the time, which also shows that which also shows in his DRS usage because he's way more DRS in both of them.
Yeah, and I guess that could be the reason why he did pull away that 8 tenths initially after getting past FIFA Kanak, because he just dumped his ERS that was not upon pure pace. So that you can see now that yeah, he will be struggling because of the lack of ERS with him. That engine power reduces massively, especially at a circuit like this where you do need a bit of downforce, but you also, of course, need a bit of straight line speed. He is going to not have one of those things, so that's going to be really crucial for him to nail his corners then, which again is not very easy to do on this track.
Yeah, it is really tough. As you can see, a certain corners have been catching a lot of drivers out, and it's been causing them to make many mistakes. Like you can see, even like FIFA Canucks led most of this race, made a very careless mistake out in the final sector. That is most probably going to cost him his win.
Yep. Was that a reset?
No. I think he did a donut to get back onto the track.
Right. Okay. Then he's fine. But yeah, as you were saying, FIFA Kanak. Yeah. The not only is the tire wear cashing these guys out. The these corners themselves again very tricky to pull off, especially through the final sector. That is where FIFA Kanak made his mistake. So with additional tire wear being put on these tires way beyond their expected lifetime, you can see that these guys will definitely start to struggle. And it, regardless of where you finish in the top three, I'd say it's still a massive kudos to you, because pulling these tires for that long is something that not everyone can do.
Yeah, they pulled these tires for really long. They're all going really well, but the fact that drivers like PK19 and all are sitting constant fast laps really shows how much slower they are than the whole grid. You can see Faizan and the rest of the grid really catching up to them. But the good thing is these guys haven't really made much mistakes except for that Fisakana is making a mistake over there. And the drivers behind them have made a lot of mistakes, hence the large gap between them.
Exactly. There's almost a 30-second gap. This reminds me once again of Mexico 2020, where everyone behind us was making mistakes and we casually cruised to a nice top 3. And Dark Knight's about to casually cruise to a P1 on track here on a very tricky track where his teammate has also retired much earlier on in this race, just on about lap 7 on the safety car restart. So currently Dark Knight having to pull off a lot of weight, but still that's gonna be 30 points that'll be going into his bag, whereas Sai Tarun, I think he will be boxing. Yeah, he is boxing onto the soft to snatch away at least that fastest lap point away from whoever has it. Luckily not Dark Knight, neither can Dark Knight actually even go for it at this point because of his extremely worn out tires. Oh, that's Bison with the fastest lap, thank you. But yeah, Dark Knight definitely can't go for it, so that will be 1 point on Aston Martin. But I believe within the next race or two, the WCC could be sealed for the Red Bull guys if such a performance continues. Of course, Sukoyami will also have to actually finish the race well within points for it to work. But yeah, it has to. You know, both basically what I want to say is both the Red Bulls have to capitalize on whatever they have had. Dark Knight didn't have a good qualifying. He's having an amazing race so far, though.
Yeah, he's really shown how he hasn't made any mistakes. Like Tiffakanak, he had a mistake in the corner there. Heisenberg got a time penalty, but Dark Knight has really had a very clean race so far, and it really shows that even though if you don't have the best of qualities, you can definitely translate a not a very good quality position into a race win, like how Dark Knight is doing right now.
Absolutely. So it's just always comes down to the matter of fact of, regardless of where you start, take that position, take something positive out of it, and double down upon it and win the race. That's what we saw Dark Knight doing in Miami. That's what we've seen him do when he won 3 races in a row, and that's what we're going to see him do in Abu Dhabi. if he does not have a puncher or makes a mistake in the next 2 laps.
I think FIFA Connect might try to pit and go for the fastest lap because I think he knows that he doesn't have the tires to catch up to these guys and he has very good gap to the car behind.
It's
But it's
not
20 seconds.
enough.
How much time do you need?
25.
Ah,
23,
alright.
but realistically to be on the safer side because of the quota is 25.
Yeah, fair enough.
So even if he does pit to go for the fastest lap, he'll be coming out behind Faizan. So he'll have to clear out Faizan, then go for the fastest lap. And look at those red tires of Heisenberg. Just goes to show you how much wear has been put through them, especially those rear tires. They've absolutely been eaten through. Whereas Dark Knight has actually managed his tires a bit better than FIFA Kanak as well as Heisenberg. His tires are still within that orange range, whereas FIFA Kanak and Heisenberg's tires have both gone well within to that close to the red
Oh,
range.
make a 19th one again.
Yep, that's PK19 spinning, and he's about to get lapped here in a few
He's-
corners time.
Ah, okay, yeah, I see that. Anyways, yeah, I think FIFA Connect setup might be more quali focused where he's able to be faster than Dark Knight and Heisenberg in quali. But in the race, he was approximately around the same pace, but his tires died way quicker than both of these guys. I think the main thing is you can't really blame him because I guess he didn't expect that he's going to do such a long stint on these tires. So I
Yep.
guess in the end, we can call that initial safety car a hindrance to Fifth Kanak and his strategy to do.
Yeah, the safety car was definitely not ideal for him. It would have been ideal if another one came out after it, but clearly it did not. So, yeah, he's pretty much made a setup to the point where it will survive the stint, but anything beyond the stint, it will literally kill the tires faster. So, I think that's what has ruined his race. But starting the penultimate lap, then as I said, I do see a top 3 within him, and he is top 3 right now. Although he is having to slow down a lot, whereas Heisen has actually gone on to the attack here, despite his tires coming well within the puncher territory. So he's basically just deciding to go all out because this is the penultimate lap. We're about to go into the final lap. Worst case scenario, he gets a puncher and he loses out on multiple positions. But he doesn't really have a championship to lose, so he can afford to take that risk. Whereas FIFA Kanak, though not within the championship fight himself, he still has that midfield pack to beat. So makes sense as to why he's not really taking any risks. Makes sense as to why he's fallen back by about 5 seconds in just a few laps. And that's Heisenberg! Is that a puncher, I wonder? That could be a puncher because it's not really... it doesn't make sense for him to spin out of a final corner there. No, it's not. So what happened there? I wonder because he didn't have a puncher. It's clearly a flat or maybe a little bit of a lift, but it just looked like his tire just gave up through there.
My guess is like he took it flat out there, and obviously his tires are very worn, and obviously the curbs are an area of lesser grip. So I guess the moment he got onto the curbs, tires just spun. That's my best guess.
I think he might have a puncher this lap because that spin has definitely risen the tire temperatures as well as the wear on his tires. And now there's even FIFA Kanak right in front of him for him to perhaps try and fight out to get that P2. Because remember, that penalty that he got was because of desync and not his own merits. So that will certainly be removed. So he will have to try and get that P2.
Got a very good exit out of there. He will try to overtake FIFA Kanak here. He's trying to use the slipstream, trying to go down the inside. He's alongside with him right now and gets the lead. Wow, that is really close. But FIFA Kanak will try to overtake him here. I don't think he has the tires to do so, sadly.
Better off just be happy with the top 3 rather than fighting for a P2 with the massive risk of puncher. Whereas Dark Knight, who also had that same massive risk of puncher, clearly it won't bother him anymore as Dark Knight comes across the line to win in Abu Dhabi despite having a very long stretched out race. And that is Heisenberg, who will be getting P2 with FIFA Kanak following really close in P3. Faizan is also really close, but oh, never mind, that's a lapped car. He's going to be in P4. BK19 does get the fastest lap though. Sager is going to be P5. BK19 finishes last in this race after being lapped. So yeah, he's not had the best of races himself. Sager, meanwhile, will be the next car to cross the line, and I believe the standings will stand as they are right now. The penalties won't really change anything.
Yes, the standings do stand simply. Anyways, I think he's the final car to finish. No, Axel Sam will be the final car. Where is he? Okay, now there he is. So yeah, P6 for him, P7 for Alex, and P8 for Sai Tarun. That if Alex isn't, if he doesn't make a mistake and lose out the position to Sai Tarun. Wait, have they both crossed the line? This looks like AI driving.
Pretty who are you talking about? Is it
Sai
BK?
Tarun and Alex.
Sai Tarun and Alex? Yeah, they're yet to cross the line.
This looks very AI. Okay, or am I insulting Sai Tarun right now?
Let's just say that he is trying. Let's just assume he is. He could
Okay,
also be
cool.
desync. We were having desync issues earlier.
Yeah.
The race, remember? Alright, then that is Abu Dhabi GP over here. A very interesting race that happened towards the end. But yeah, well, words cannot describe what we have just seen today. An amazing win from Dark Knight, despite not having the best of qualifyings and despite having a desync issue as well. In the safety car, in the only safety car that we had in this race, with FIFA Kanak trying very hard to get that P2, but finishing P3, and Heisenberg, of course, finishing P2 in the end of all of that, and yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, interesting race, especially near the end. In the middle was pretty dry, but in the
Yep.
end it was really, really good.
I agree, and actually, I just have to ask you: do you think, right?
Yes,
Will it race into no shit? But do you think that there will be rain in tonight's Tier 1 race?
Oh, no. It's like asking if Rajasthan will have rain. Obviously not.
That's yeah.
All for that comment.
No comments.
No comments. No words.
No comments. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, that was amazing. And let's quickly move on to the podium interviews here. Why don't we? And actually get us started with get us started with our
FIFA
P3 FIFA Kank.
Okay, wait. Actually, I think you started Heisenberg first, so technically that's the race classification.
Sure.
Okay, Heisenberg, it looks like you had a pretty good race until that final corner on the second last lap, where you had a
Long
small
spin.
spin. Where you had a small spin and you kind of lost that position to FIFA Kanak. He had built a pretty good gap on him where your time penalty wouldn't drop you down to P3, but in the end, that's what happened. So, do you have any comments regarding that?
Yeah, I was having a good race till then. Tires have gone way past their limit. I was at almost 80% wear at that time, and that fast right-hander, the second last corner, you need you can get help with a bit of a grip, but yeah, my tires are completely cooked by then. So I spun there, and yeah, Connect overtook me there, I guess, and we had a battle in the last lap as well.
Yeah, it's a good thing where you got position on track against him in that final part of the lap where it mattered. But the question is, that time penalty, does it stand or is it like a glitch thingy?
I don't think it will, because during the safety car, Dark Knight was behind me and Alex. So sorry, Axel Sam. So, and then for a second he teleported ahead of us both, and then he went back. So, like the game was asking us both to receive the position, and yeah, it gave us a 5-second time penalty with that.
Looks like you had a pretty good race, and I think even though there was a small blemish near the end of the race, I think it's still a really good race nonetheless.
Yeah.
Have a good day. I
Thank you.
think simply you carry on with FIFA Connect now.
Yep, sure. FIFA Kanak, a very, very valiant effort from you to try and stay on. We're leading the race for quite a while, defending off from Heisenberg for a few laps. It just looked like the race might end in that order until Heisenberg made that really, really nice move onto you and just got past you there. And from then on out, I think he just backed off because I guess he knew the ties won't make it to the end.
Yeah, I was a little afraid that I was gonna get a puncture because at the end it was over 80%.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about to pit, but I didn't know if Heisenberg penalties was valid or not, so I just decided to stay out.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, still a pretty good effort from you. Top three. I was saying from the beginning that you have the potential of being top three, and luckily you were top three. So my prediction for once didn't curse you. All right. Well, still, congratulations for the podium, man.
Maybe
Thank you.
congratulations to you as to you FIFA Kanak on that brilliant drive. A good tire management, excellent tire management on your part, as well as the other two podium finishers as well. Moving on to the person on the highest step of the podium today, Dark Knight. What drive, man! It was almost flawless, if you ask me, because I don't think we caught you making any mistakes on stream, whereas the other two, Dark Knight and Heisenberg and FIFA Kanak were seen slipping and sliding here and there. So yeah, just talk us through your experience today.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. The race was, it was really good. I enjoyed it. We three had pulled away from the rest of the field, so it was a good sign. And I had that desync issue. Obviously, it didn't help Heisenberg. I don't know what happened, and it only happened during the safety car. I think during the race it was fine. And afterwards, during the race, like we three were following each other. It was a DRS train for a long time, and then I was waiting for Heisenberg to attack because so that I can then jump FIFA Kanak. I knew that he was just holding on somehow, and then once Heisenberg passed him, it was just the chance to put pressure on FIFA Kanak, and after that, he made a mistake. I think into the Latifi corner, and then I passed him there, and then afterwards I was just following Heisenberg, and I had to be very careful because like the other like FIFA Kanak and Heisenberg, we all pitted very very early, so our tires were cooked by then. There's even a point where I was considering I can just finish with a P3 if I pit for softs and take the fastest lap, but then Heisenberg also made that mistake, so then I was like, okay, now I'll risk it, and hopefully none of us got a puncture. It's a good result, and it helps us massively in the drivers and constructors championship.
Helps you on the drivers and your team in the constructors. We're all missing ABD. Could have added even more points to your tally, but you made do well enough with what you had, and of course to finish, I think almost 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the grid. It's a mighty performance you put on out there.
Yeah, thank you. I also had to give to Heisenberg and FIFA Kanak. I think we three were really, really quick this race, and to pull off that massive gap and still push each other is a really good sign. So I just want to say congrats to both of them also.
Yep, congrats to all the podium finishers for today, and simply hopefully we can conclude the stream.
Of course we can. That is racing over for Tier 2 this weekend, but fear not, we do have Tier 1 coming up tonight at 8 p.m. IST. Of course, at Abu Dhabi, it's going to be a really, really fun race for us. For Tier 1 boys, at least. Not sure about other people, but personally I really enjoy the track in terms of driving as well as viewing it, so I'm really gonna have a lot of fun regardless of where I finish. So do make sure to tune in for that, subscribe, turn on the notifications, If you are interested in racing with us, or perhaps are just a motorsport enthusiast, the link of the Discord is given in the description. Do make sure to join and check us out. And all of our other social medias have also been given in the description as well as on your screen in case you do want to follow us on there to get any updates regarding any sort of leagues or pretty much anything. But that's it from IRC this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to stay hydrated, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.